Hello and welcome to the Now Page update for November 2025. These are the videos that I do once a month, as well as a blog updating you on the professional and personal sides to my life. And a lot has happened this last month, because essentially, the first of the next month is a recap of what happened the month before. And October was a very busy month for me. I was looking forward to it actually all year because of a conference, and I ended up going on another trip too for a convention. And so there was a lot going on there, even a little bit of a romantic tryst, but I digress. Essentially, when I make these posts, I usually decide the day of, do I make the video post or the blog post first? Today, I guess it's video. So if I'm rambling a little bit, that's why, because I'm still kind of processing all the ideas. So first and foremost, I've been to a lot of different creator conferences over the years. The last 2 years, I guess, technically speaking, feels like it's been forever since 2023. But I went to the podcast movement once or twice, and then I went to NAB show twice, and then I went to Grow with Video Live, and now I finally got to go to Vidsummit, which is one that I've been wanting to go to since the beginning. I think I actually found it to be even more appealing than podcast movement because I'm more of a YouTuber than a podcaster. I usually tell people like I'm a writer, a YouTuber, then podcaster. That's how I prioritize it in my head. So obviously, a YouTube conference will be a lot more appealing to someone like if I'm creating a lot of video content. And when I found myself there, it was exhilarating. I was firing on all cylinders. I was networking like crazy, and the lessons I learned from previous conferences really came in clutch when it came to how I planned my attack on this conference. Now, Opus Clip had sent me out, and I should be aware of the Opus Clip have, I guess, but I got this at the conference, and Beacons is a tool I'm going to be using now going forward probably as well. But I went there, and I'm trying to champion the tool that flew me out. Okay, cool. I used Opus Clip every day basically at this point, if not multiple times a week, because I have videos that go out. I had an interview that went out or is going out this weekend, and I put it into Opus for clips, but I also put it into Opus to reframe it vertical so I could post it in full on TikTok. And then I had another video that was a panel. I used Opus to add captions to it because it just, sometimes it's hard to hear on a stage like that. And post that in full on TikTok. And then I also threw it into Opus for clips. And so this tool I use all the time. I don't mind telling people how great it is because it is one of those tools that, I just use every single time I make a video. So I'm a little bit livid. I was recording for over 10 minutes there, and I guess I must have pressed stop recording somehow, and it stopped the recording. And so I only saved the first 2.5 minutes of this video for some reason. And so now I'm going to go back into it. The pressures of content creation. So I was talking about Opus Clip and VidSummit and being able to go to this conference. And in the previous recording, I was talking about how, as someone who's more of a YouTuber, I really wanted to go to this particular conference. And I found myself very elated being around people who are like me. And I think that a lot of the lessons I learned from previous conferences really came into clutch whenever I was at this one. And I have a little bit of, I don't believe in opportunity cost, but I feel a little bit of FOMO when it came to some of the meetups and events where I went to one thing, but something else was going on at the same time. I really wish they would fix that because I hate having to make that choice, and I think it's stupid that we have to make that choice. So I went to the public party instead of the VIP party, and I ended up missing out, I think, on some things. But I also feel like there was a matter of lessons learned, and the importance of this particular VidSummit is my first one, and there wasn't as much, opportunities. I feel like meeting someone's super important at a company or something like that. The people who were important I already did meet at networking events or at the conference itself. I don't think I particularly missed out on a person when it came to working for some CEO or something like that, or working with another creator. I think I would have been able to meet them regardless. And I think the lessons I learned from previous conferences and the lessons I learned at this conference are going to come into factor the next time I go, and that's going to be more powerful then. I don't know if I mentioned this in the first clip, but I want to go to CES. And so right now I went to VidSummit this month and in Chicago. And in Chicago, it was a Cobra Kai convention, and I actually didn't necessarily watch Cobra Kai very much, and I didn't really grow up with Karate Kid movies, so I had to get caught up before going to this convention. So I ended up watching 4 seasons within a week of the show. I watched a little bit of it when I interviewed Cobra Kai Kid, which is the reason why I went out, is to help him film, be his videographer, and I think that's not something I want to do often, but I think I could do for other creators when it comes to just having a gig and helping out another creator when it comes to being in a pinch. And if they fly me out, I might as well. I don't mind doing the work if you fly me out. And so that's why I'm bringing up the trips. I don't think my next trip is until NAB show, which is not until like April. That's a while away. I would love to go to CES. I've always wanted to go to CES, and I can make a lot of content there. But as a content creator, I'm not that big. I'm not a reporter, so I don't necessarily have a way to get a ticket. And so I need to figure that out if I'm going to be able to do that. Probably not, but I just would like to. So when it comes to conferences, that's one thing. Content creation wise, I don't think I necessarily have the ability to do another blitz this year. I did one at the beginning of this year, and that helped a lot, but that was multiple sprints in one go. And I don't necessarily think I was super successful with it. I was like 80% successful, which is great. I mean, when you're doing hundreds of posts, that's a really big deal, being 80% successful. But I have multiple newsletters that need to be continued and refined, and I'm just really behind on that. But today I'm focusing on the Now page, and then I have a couple interviews. And then yesterday I did a ton of Instagram carousels and posts and reels. I was compiling and actually chopping up a whole bunch of videos together to make more posts. I scheduled them all out, and so I have a lot of content coming out, and that was all from the trip that I did, from the event, and from my exploration of Chicago. I managed to get a lot of Chicago explored in a matter of a day and a half. Luckily, I was able to visit some friends, so they were to help me figure out where I needed to go next and get a lot done, like deep dish pizza, going to the zoo, seeing Buckingham Fountain, going downtown, a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And so I found myself able to explore a ton in a short time span, especially since it wasn't necessarily the most ideal timing, but we were able to get things done. And that was really cool. And so going forward right now, what am I looking forward to? Really just putting out more content. I'm so obsessed with it right now, especially considering I have just so much I want to get out. And if I could just get it done, I will feel so much happier. And I know that I've been saying this for the last 2 years, 3 years probably. And I'm missing some of the points I made in the original recording, but I don't necessarily know what it is. And maybe I'll put it in the blog post if I remember. But yeah, oh yeah, tools. I got this at the Vidsummit conference, and I'm going to be working with not necessarily beacons, but like fire cuts and fourth wall, and working on using those tools more, like creating a merch line, using AI editing. Beacons is a tool I'm going to probably be using more to replace my link in bio. And then I also want to mess around with some other tools like MiniChat to market my merch line. So there's a lot of cool things that are coming out, and if I can try to get them done by the end of the year, that'd be ideal, especially since there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to merch at this time of year. I'm a little bit behind though, and I need to work on refining my merch designs, but I'm really excited about that brand that I'm going to be building out. And so yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment down below and go read the blog post because it'll be different.